Do you do breath work on Everest?
Yes. Yes, I do. I mean, there's points on Everest that are scary. And I said, this fear is either going to grow or it's going to shrink. And the only way I can shrink it is if I connect back to my breath and get out of the story that my head's writing.
You're a mom of 7, you're an entrepreneur, you own your business. Now you've got your own podcast, helping other entrepreneurs find their next step. How do you balance it all? Jen, tell us the secret.
Yeah. You know what? We live in Utah and we have this beautiful environment that I get to look outside every day and just remind myself, I'm this little teeny tiny person in this big world. And it's so grounding. It's so humbling. It's so awe-inspiring that it really helps bring me home to who I am. Your environment matters. And we live in a beautiful place. We have beautiful communities that are super supportive in the things that we do. I'm not raising 7 children by myself. I have I have community, I have carpools, I have a nanny, I have all this help that gives me balance. I believe in breath work and slowing down. When I take nature walks, I'm not listening to podcasts or anything else. I'm just in that moment, and that recharges the batteries for me.
That's amazing. I love that, slowing down. Tell us a little bit more about breath work. I mean, I've heard of this before. We all hear, just stop, drop, and breathe. Like,
yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
So meditation, I have not mastered. But breath work, when I have to just count 1 or 2 breaths in, 1 long breath out, 1 or 2 breaths in. It gives my brain something to count or entertain, which then actually allows everything else to fall away. Just connecting to breath, because breath is life. And I can do it anywhere, right? I can do it when I'm waiting to pick someone up from soccer. I can do it in the morning. I can do it anytime where I feel my nerves or my anxiety or my fear or something that I don't enjoy feeling is overcoming. That's my way to fight back, is to breathe and just come back to, I'm alive. I can feel my fingers and toes. We're good.
Do you do breath work on Everest?
Yes. Yes, I do. I mean, there's points on Everest that are scary. And I said, this fear is either going to grow or it's going to shrink. And the only way I can shrink it is if I connect back to my breath and get out of the story that my head's writing.
Because the mental game's hard.
Mental game's real, right? And so you can tell yourself you're overwhelmed and can't do any more, or this is too much. Or you can tell yourself that, wow, I'm trusted to be able to do a lot and I have everything in my power to do so. And I just need to do this moment right here.
Do this moment right here. So that's how you prepare mentally for those big things in life. Breath work, that goal setting, that intention. What else are we missing?
Fun.
Okay. All right.
You have to have fun, because the person who's having fun doing whatever they're doing, they're hard to beat, right? So I'm always looking for ways where, am I making this serious? Is the story I'm writing like making this hard? How do I add fun to this moment? And I really feel that's like the winning ticket.
Okay, so how do you add fun to a freezing cold climb with, the last thing I saw, you're building snow walls on Mount Logan because your tent could blow away or be buried in snow. Like, how is that fun, Jen?
Well, if you're 5, it's pretty fun
to
be out there, right?
Right?
Like, so when I was on Mount Logan, I'm like, okay, I'm just channeling my inner 5-year-old who's building a snow fort right now, and I have to make the best of this. The funny thing is, this is another story from Mount Logan. I was wearing goggles because it's windy and cold and that just protects your eyes. And I had a pink lens in them because that was the right lens for the lighting. And so we're walking along and there's these big flakes of snow falling. And I'm thinking, it looks like I'm in a cotton candy bowl, right? Because of all this pink. Well, then that pink of my lens is changing the color of the rope that I'm tied to. And it looks like a watermelon rind. So all of a sudden I'm thinking watermelon sugar high, like I'm singing this song, I'm in a cotton candy land, blah, 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 blah. A timer goes off on our watch because you have to make sure that you're eating. You don't always feel hungry at altitude, but you need the calories to keep warm and keep going. And I lift up my goggles to do some things. And all of a sudden I realize that's not cotton candy. Like, we're in a storm. Like, this is legit, almost can't see. This is horrible. Like, I look at my team and how long have we been in this weather? They're like, where have you been? Like, it's been this weather the entire time we've been moving. And those little stories you need to keep on speed dial, because it just helps you remember, change the lens, change the perspective. What else, if this is true, what else can be true that puts you in a better mood, that empowers you and lets you enjoy the journey?
I love that. So get those rose-colored glasses.
Yes. At Valentine's Day, they're available on Amazon in abundance.
I love that. That's amazing. Really, but to your point, change your perspective.
Yeah.
Right? When you're in it, and when it's raining and it's pouring and all the things that could go wrong are going wrong.
Which happens. Okay.
Happens
for
to
all of us
Yeah.
in whatever pursuits we're doing, whatever our mountains are. And there's a way to relax and have fun. And I think that's our challenge. Our challenge is to find joy in the journey.
I love that. So, you're a Guinness World Record holder, first woman to do anything is awe-inspiring, right? But on your website, you have, obviously you have your own podcast. And the title of it is, because I don't want to get it wrong, From a Life of Success to a Life of Significance.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Right. So the podcast is titled Seek Your Summit. And it really is about going from a life of success to a life of significance, because I think we find success in a lot of our pursuits.
Yeah.
But we find joy and fulfillment when it's significant. And things become significant when they empower, enable, or inspire others. And so I really hope to just share stories, share like interviews, and ask questions. And all of us have that story in us. And it's just reconnecting to that in ourselves. And sometimes we do that by hearing it in somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. So you have, so many cool guests on your podcast.
It's fun.
It is so fun and awe-inspiring. But let's say, question for you. If you had to tell everyone, like, hey, this is how you make your life significant, what advice do you have for people out there?
Only you get to tell us if your life is significant. That's not something that I get to tell you. That's something that comes from internally in each one of us. And so it's a prayer. It's a centering to ourselves. It's an offering to the world. And so you need to close your eyes and get clear on what brings you the most joy. I'll give you an example. My mom is an interior designer. She gets excited going into stores and thinking of trinkets to put on a shelf that makes the shelf look gorgeous. The shelf looks absolutely amazing. I have zero desire to do any of that, right? But when we get out of Costco and we look up at the mountains, every one of them is whispering to me, climb me next, climb me next. And she looks up at them and she's like, I don't know why anybody want to get any closer to those things than right here, because this view is perfect, right?
Yeah.
And so what calls us, or what gets us excited or happy or inspired, then we get to do that thing. And then that thing becomes significant because it spills over into everything we do, because we're so excited about our life. So that's my story on it.
And that brings in the fun.
Yes, that brings in the fun.
What you're passionate about, right?
100%.
And I know, I remember growing up hearing the phrase like, oh, love what you do, you'll never work another day in your life. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like that's a farce. Like, you got to work hard regardless of what you do. Like, work is work. But at the same time, loving your work is pretty awesome.
Yes. And I used to think like you could when I went to college, I was like, I was going to be a doctor because I wanted to be successful. Like, that's what I was looking for.
Sure.
As I've gotten older, I realize I'm chasing feelings. And I want to empower. I want to inspire. I want to help people see that their life is magic and they're here to share that magic with the world. And so anything that brings that about is what gets me excited. Right? It's no longer being these certain career paths, unless those career paths open doors for what feeling you want to inspire in others.
Right. So you're saying not all of us have to go climb Everest.
No, please don't. The mountain is full and crowded and crazy, as you all see the news.
For me. Yeah. Yeah. Let's say that we have people watching our interview together out there that are like, oh, well, Jen can do this because she started her own business. Jen can do this because she has that group of people that can help her make it to the top. Jen is able to survive X, Y, and Z because of X, Y, and Z, which I don't have. Let's say there's people out there that feel like, ugh, all is lost.
Yep.
What do you have for them?
I think that's the easy way. That's the easy way out, is to say, oh, she's different.
Yeah.
Right? Because then it gets you off the hook for doing something big.
Yeah.
So I challenge that question and say, I don't know if that story is accurate. Maybe you should question that a little bit and then see what it takes, right? What it takes to do anything as a supportive team. Anybody can create a supportive team. And so then you just start figuring out who you need on your team to make something happen, right? And then you recruit those people, they help you, and then more happens, and it's a trickling effect. I mean, I came from a lower middle class family. I got my first job when I was 10, babysitting the neighbors. I have 10-year-olds. I wouldn't let babysit anything. So it's fascinating how times change. And then I waited tables in high school. I mean, I did all the things.
Yeah.
So it's not like I would have loved a silver spoon life, but that wasn't my story. And I often feel like our struggles become our strengths. And so just understanding that, hey, wherever I am right now, if something feels too far away, you're looking too far down the road. You got to look at what's right in front of me that can get me one step closer and just keep doing that.
I love that. So what have been over the course of maybe your life, maybe just, recently, a struggle that has become a strength? Maybe that 10 to 35 feet.
Yeah. I can now climb without being scared.
Yeah.
I would say all of our struggles eventually become a strength. I failed K2 the first time, right? When I went to climb it, and I was devastated. I kept replaying the situation in my head over and over. What could I have done different? What was wrong? Trying to take all the responsibility for it. First playing victim, then getting out of victim, then taking the other extreme. And I truly believe that in failure, there's purpose. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep harvesting this until I find some kind of benefit. And when I went back to do K2, I remembered that it's really hard for somebody from Pakistan to climb their own mountain due to finances and gear and all the different pieces to it. And so I was aware of somebody that wanted to climb and needed some help, and I was able to help them. That if I would have summited that first time, that opportunity wouldn't have arisen. And so when I summited the second time, and then the person I helped sponsor become the first Pakistani female to stand on top of K2, there was purpose, there was reason, there was all these things. So if there's an area where you're stuck or you're failing per se, harvest that, because there's lessons to be had there and there's power in those moments.
Good grief. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How cool.
Was cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. So not only are you helping to, summit this goal that you've had with you and your family, but you're bringing other people up with you, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's the magic of setting a goal. Okay. If you set a goal, I said out loud, I'm going to climb the 7-second summits. People heard about that. Now they know. I had someone call me and say, hey, listen, we need to deliver an ambulance to a charity in Kenya. When you go there, would you be willing to be the face of the charity and help with that project? Yes. Are you kidding me? Yes, now, for sure. And that wouldn't have happened if people didn't know what my goal was. So when you say your goal out loud and you set it, the universe works with you to make it happen. And it shows up in ways that you could never expect, but magically, right? So much better than you ever thought possible, because now your goal is crowdfunded. Now it has different perspective, different ideas, different ways to make it even more powerful and impactful than what it would have been just by myself setting it out.
I love that. I love that. So just like it takes a village to raise 7 kids, it takes a village for all of us to reach our goals.
Yes, it does. 100%. And when you do, I didn't say, hey, I'm going to go climb Mount Kenya and I'm going to do this charity thing and blah, 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 blah. I said, I'm going to go climb Mount Kenya. And then the charity thing came, and then a period project came, and then all these different little pieces. Then people find out, oh, you're big into charity. And now all these other doors open. You have to set the goal and take steps. And when you are on that journey, stepping forward, different doors open that allow more to be possible.
That's very cool. And I love that because, of course, selfishly, that ties back to the whole credit union movement, right? Yes. We are essentially all members on this journey together, quote unquote pooling our money to help each other.
Exactly. It's the
Right?
same business model.
I love that. I love that. So it's a successful business model. So we should all follow it.
Yes,
that.
it works.
Yeah, I love that. So obviously, Mountain America Credit Union and Jen Drummond, give me some history. How did this come about? Why were you so excited to work with, a credit union in a state that, you've got a successful business elsewhere. What did that relationship and how did it start and what does that look like?
Yeah, so I had been offered a lot of sponsorships for a lot of different brands or just a lot of partnerships for different pursuits. And I turned them down for various different reasons.
Yeah.
When Mountain America called and you had this guiding you forward and you like everything it stood for, I truly believe that once we have health, we can live a great life. When we have our finances in control, we can live a great life. And those two things are really core to who we can become. So it was a perfect alignment. Like there was no way I could say no. If I could have my adventure show the flag at the top of a mountain saying, this is available to you when you partner with an organization like this, how could I say no? Because I know how important these pieces are to succeeding in whatever you do. And it's been just magic.
Yeah. And I would say, the feeling's mutual, right? It just makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for, being willing to not only work with us, partner with us, help spread that message of all the amazing messages you spread.
Well, thank you.
But at the same time, we can guide each other forward too.
We do. You guys have been a big part in just knowing, just having someone in your corner, right? That's keeping an eye out for things. The credit union does that. You guide people forward. When you have a mountain, you have a guide that says, oh, like step here, go there, do this. Here's what you need to do so that if you buy that house, you're not putting too much stress on your family's life and all the little pieces that go into it. There was no way that I couldn't partner with an organization that empowered their membership like you guys do.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and tell me a little bit more about empowering.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel more empowered now that you've climbed all these mountains? What is next? What is that next mountain that Jen is climbing?
Yeah. I think all of us are on a hero's journey. Okay. So the hero's journey is you have an awakening. Something inspires you to go do something. You go climb that mountain. You learn a whole bunch of lessons in that pursuit. You come back home and then you share all that you learned with those around you. So if we look at my journey, I had the awakening with a car accident. I stepped into this goal of climbing the 7-second summits. I just came home from the last summit, and now I get to share the learnings, integrate it into me, and hopefully uplift a ton of other people as they go summit theirs.
Yes. So in part of your sharing this, you've got a podcast.
Yes.
Right? You're a speaker. Anyone can come and, hire Jen to come speak at their event. A book's coming.
I have a book coming. I'm super excited about the book. I'm taking a bunch of lessons from the mountains and applying them to life and business because, again, we don't get to choose when we leave. We get to choose how we show up. And every day is a gift. And so your gift back is living your purpose. And my goal is to help you do that as efficiently and effectively as possible.
I love that. I love that. So, kind of in closing here, how do you go about, or what advice do you have for people in search of their purpose?
I think you figure out what lights you up, right? It took me a year. I was so ingrained in my kids. When someone asked me what I wanted for dinner, I'm like, I don't know. I just eat leftover like chicken nuggets on someone's plate, right? Like I haven't even thought about what I would want for dinner. And so I took a year of, I would take notes in different colors with a pen. And I realized, oh, red makes me feel like I'm correcting myself. like these different feelings that you have. And so I come to business meetings with a purple pen because like purple was my happy color and it made it playful and I could still see everything I wrote. So I think as you are looking for your purpose, don't focus so much on the purpose that you like forget to enjoy the process. And so by enjoying the process and really cluing in like where you're happy and how to keep leaning into that, your purpose is going to unfold.